How can you get the best pricing on your employment practices liability insurance? My name is Ryan Stillwell. I am the owner here at Stillwell Risk Partners. And one of the things that we do for our clients is not only do the placement of the insurance, but we help with a strategic plan over the course of several years to get you into position to get best possible pricing on your insurance program. And one of the ways that we do this is with employment practices liability insurance, making sure that you're getting the best premiums for that through a proactive risk management strategy. So before we get into some of those specific details, it's important to have some contextual knowledge about what's going on in the market, right? So like with everything, there's inflation, right? And costs are going up. One of the harder hit markets in terms of insurance policies is employment practices liability insurance, simply because during COVID, there were people were furloughed and laid off. We're in a different environment now where there's a lot more risk involved from the insurance carrier side, and prices have increased. Terms of coverage tend to be a little bit more narrow. But this is still a vital coverage for employers to have to mitigate the risk of what happens when they have to fire somebody or have lay off some people, or if something just goes wrong and there's infighting between employees in your own business, right? So that's kind of the state of the market. Is prices have increased. It's harder to get good coverage. It's harder to get higher limits, and it's a tough market right now. So what are the ways in which you as a business owner can reduce your employment practices liability insurance costs? Number one is your business has a culture in it, right? Communicating that culture through the underwriting process can be a major factor. Why is that? Because underwriters who look at these policies and rate them are people, right? It does go into systems, and then look at and those systems look at numbers, but underwriters can look at these policies and say, this business is doing things the right way. We're going to be more lenient in pricing for them, right? That's one of the ways. It's one of the intangible ways that we look at it. How we tell the story of your business to the insurance company. So that's an important part. We have to talk about what culture you're creating, how you've created that, and where you're going in the future. Second is, what's your process for updating and revising your employee handbook, right? Where rules change annually, if not more frequent, and having your employee handbook updated to date to be fully federally and state compliant in every state that you're operating in is incredibly important. Having that document in place, communicating it with your employees effectively, and having the documentation that it has been communicated to your employees and they have access to this information is very important to reducing your risk in terms of any potential lawsuits from employees. The training that you're doing, whether it be in regard to discrimination or harassment, things along those lines, having that documentation is really important. And by providing that documentation through the underwriting process, it can have a big effect, right? Not only can underwriters be more lenient in pricing, we also get access to additional carriers that might not look at everything because they're very narrow in what they will actually write. They need the highest preferred accounts, right? They only want to write the accounts that have the least likelihood of having a lawsuit filed against them, right? So communicating how you're doing that on an ongoing basis is very important. And then the last part here is just, how you're communicating with your employees. The culture in your business, going back to what we started talking about in the first place, the culture in your business is really a major factor in what you're paying for your employment practices liability insurance. Because if you have good culture and your employees buy into your business and they're active in it, and you have those good relationships with your employees, the chances of you being sued by them are a lot less likely, right? I mean, it doesn't prohibit it from happening. Nothing prohibits that type of thing from happening, because things can always go wrong. People are people and we make mistakes, right? But having that culture in place, having strong relationships, and how you can communicate that through the underwriting process can often give you better pricing. So if you're interested in learning more about this, let me know. We have a strategic process that we go through. We provide a lot of support and the tools and resources that business owners need to put these things in place. So reach out to me. I'm happy to provide you with some information.